Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Gloria. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm good. And good morning to everybody. This is Chris and Gloria's live chat show. Open minds. The weekend begins here. Chaos begins here, as you normally know. And we hope you're all well. So, how are you, Chris? What have you been up to?
I'm good. It's sunny outside today. Can't beat that, can you? Spring.
No, spring is here. So you're gonna tell me, Chris,
You
you've
always
got a
ask me this.
spring in your step?
You always ask me this, Gloria, and my mind goes blank every time you say, "What have you been up to, Chris?" And I'm like, think of something quick.
I can't tell her that. I can't tell her that. Okay, I have to say something. Chris knows. I believe, guys, I've had what you call a mandala effect. I've got to tell this very quickly. I go once a week and meet child number 6, one of my children. I have 6 children. And it's just automatic pilot. I get out of the taxi. I go straight to the cash point at the post office outside. I get my money, and then my daughter spends it all. It's a ritual weekly. I got out of the taxi yesterday, straight into autopilot. I walked straight up to the building. I stood there, got my card out, and I was looking in a window. And I looked right and I looked left, and everyone was looking at me. I had a card to put in a cash machine. There was no cash machine. Needless to say, I got a bit disturbed. What's going on? I cannot tell you. And I stepped back, and there was the building, but no cash machine, like it'd never been there. So I walked away as everyone's sort of looking at me like this. What is she doing, getting a card out to put in a window, so to speak? And daughter number 6 come along, and I stopped her and I said, every week I meet you. Yes, mother. And every week I go to the cash point. Yes, mother. What's going on? And where's the cash point? Look over there. Oh my God. There was no cash point. Okay. And I go, am I going mad? As you go on. And she just calmly turned around and said, well, maybe we've shifted to a parallel universe, mother. So anyway, went back over to this building. It looked original, unless they got like the Masons in to do a job like it's never been. I could not believe it. So I had a mandala effect. The last mandala effect I had was when I believed that Nelson Mandela had died in prison, and apparently I was wrong. He hadn't in the next universe. So I'm going to go to town on Monday, and if that cash point is back, I'm out of here. So how about that one, Chris? Weird week. Weird.
It is Hot Fuzz Village, after all. So
well, yes, I do live in Hot Fuzz Village. All for the greater good. Right now it's all about me as normal. It's all about the show. What I would like to do before we introduce the amazing, lovely Mary Bishop today, I want to sort of give you a little insight to what's coming up on our show. We have next week the amazing Philip Kinsella, got that correct, who's going to speak about human consciousness, the multi-leveled experiences of alternative realities. It might actually help my experience yesterday with the disappearing cash point. He'll be dealing with aspects of the abduction program, cloning, the human soul, the bigger questions about humans. The week after that, I'm just going to say, we've got Nancy Meyer, who is an internationally known psychic detective and works with law enforcement for many years. We have Mary Rodwell. She is the founder and principal of the Australian Close Encounter Resources Network, ACERN. Oh my goodness. She is going to talk about the topic areas of ET contact, the new generation of children, and understanding spiritual beings. We have Sonia Grace, award-winning author, mystic healer. Sonia will share with her in-depth understanding of the cosmic connection between humans, aliens, demigods, encounters. It goes on. And returning to the show, the wonderful Dee Light Codes, with a very, very special presentation. and my lips are sealed. We are not allowed to say anything about that one. We also have the amazing Eric Mitchell from America and Maria Wheatley from the UK, and so much more. So please keep tuning in. That was my auto cue there. Keep tuning in. We have some diverse topics, don't we, Chris?
We certainly do. But we have a fantastic guest today, is Mary.
Yeah.
I am so intrigued to find out more about her.
Yeah.
It says Psychic School of Studies as well. Psychic School of Studies.
Yes, Mary is an associate of the London College of Psychic Studies. There's so much more to Mary. She's been working 35 years. We're going to shut up and we'll let Mary book everything. Let Mary tell her story, her journey. So please, everybody, we welcome Mary Bishop to Open Minds.
Hello. Good morning. Thank you for inviting me. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming on, Mary.
Thank you. So the question is, Mary, I have to say first, we have a mutual friend, do we not?
We do indeed.
And we do. And our mutual friend, it was our mutual friend that introduced me to you and made me become aware of your amazing work. And her name is Hayley O'Keefe. And she is your literary agent. And I do recommend, if you have any books to be published or anything to be worked with, please contact Hayley O'Keefe. So that's how me and you became acquainted with each other, isn't it? So your CV was wonderful. She told me all about you. So Mary, welcome to the show. Please tell us, where did your journey begin? Where did your spiritual journey begin?
Well, I think if I could say it's in two parts, really. My friend Helen introduced me to the tarot cards, and I joined a tarot class run by a lady who lived in a cottage in a graveyard. That was a bit spooky just to start with. And on the last night of the course, as I left, there was this raging thunderstorm overhead, lightning and thunder and the pouring rain, and I was laughing out loud to myself as I ran through the graveyard to get to my car, because it was just so gothic. I just couldn't believe it. But it was the tarot cards that helped me develop my gifts of mediumship and clairvoyance and so on. However, I did have a rather strange experience when I was 6 years old. I used to go to bed, and when I closed my eyes, in my mind's eye, I could see this huge towering tidal wave above me. We lived on a farm. We had no TV. I'd never seen a tidal wave in a book. And I was really perturbed by this for quite a long time. But later in life, I did a hypnotherapy regression session where I went back to a past life, and I discovered that I lived on a tropical island, and I'd been drowned in a tidal wave, which was caused by a cyclone. Wow. And I could feel the ground shaking beneath me and the wind roaring past. So that explained that. But it was really the tarot that, because it acts as a focus for your mind. I was at a festival. I've been working at a festival all one weekend, and there was music playing, and I was so tired by the Sunday evening, and I had a queue of people waiting to have their cards read. And I just couldn't read the cards, and I was panicking inwardly, smiling at everybody, but panicking. And suddenly I started to get information from the spiritual realm as a medium. And these people sat down, and I was giving them names and stories, and I was just so relieved, because I was just too tired to actually read the cards. So that was sort of how things have developed. But I've worked, we've lived in New Zealand, and I've worked here and there. I've written books, written articles, wrote for the local newspaper in New Zealand, done readings, taught tarot evening class in New Zealand. So I've been doing this for a good number of years, and it's just given me another dimension to my life, and I don't know how people manage without it, really.
Amazing.
I mean, that is a journey in itself. Now, Chris, do you have a question, Chris?
So
I love putting him on the spot.
I know, yes, really put you on the spot. I found that fascinating, Mary, that you had the tidal wave. Most people will go, oh, well, you had a visit from someone, they came in your bedroom and said, oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that sort of thing. I just find that really fascinating. What drew you to tarot in itself, Mary? What made you?
Oh, this was my friend Helen. We worked together in a solicitor's office years ago, and she was always exploring new things. And she introduced me to the tarot, but she was also the lady with whom I found a lot of the regression sessions. And she trained with Dolores Cannon, the healing quantum healing therapy technique. And Dolores was an American hypnotherapist with 45 years experience. And she taught Helen. And I've always been a good practice subject for Helen. And we explored, I think we did about 13 or 14 regressions into my past lives. And it's what's so interesting with that is that I came up with information and then I looked on the internet later and discovered that these things actually happened, what I was seeing and the dates and the places and things. I mean, I had one regression in Holland and I was employed by this family and we had to pack up and move away because they said there was a war coming. And I got the year 1640, I was in Holland. And when I looked it up, it was the war of, it had been going on for a very long time, but it was the war of independence from the Spanish. So it's been very helpful to me because I've actually been able to verify a lot of this information.
Yeah.
And the purpose of these regressions, I think, is it's very interesting to find out who you've been or what have you done before. But it's also, we often get information that's a parallel to the life we're living now. And that enables us to move forward spiritually, to learn and grow. And a lot of the lives I've been rich and poor, wealthy, an urchin boy, a boy on a pirate ship. I've been, all sorts of different things. Peasant boy, often quite poor, but I think the main thing that came out of it all was to learn and grow and to accept the challenges. But I do also very much believe we're here to enjoy ourselves and have fun and appreciate what the universe provides.
Yeah, I mean, on the back of that, that just brought to mind all these multiple experiences you've had, you are aware of in your consciousness now. It must, well, I know it does, but however, back to you, it must, like you were Mary and you had these belief systems and you did this and you did that and you believed all these beliefs and conditioning was you. And then all of a sudden, with the regression, I'm bigger than that. I'm greater than that. I've experienced this. Oh my God. And in the identity of Mary Bishop, we limit ourselves. We are limited beings. But once you go into past life regressions, experiences, you become, I'm quite unlimited here. I can do this. So how did that change your perception, your truth, basically? How did that change you when you went, the tidal wave was real?
Well, the first thing that really surprised me was it didn't perturb me at all when I changed gender. I went from being, a woman to a man, and what I got out of that was your actual essence, your soul, or however you choose to describe it, is you. So the outer coating you put on in a different lifetime, it doesn't really change you, but you just learn a different experience. But I feel that the biggest parallel I think I can draw is really that in all these past lives I had difficulties, apart from one or two. You do get one or two easy lives interspersed with the more difficult ones, but it's just learn and grow spiritually for your soul. And I just feel that reassured me that that's what I was here to do, just spiritually. And as I say, I have a very strong belief system that you've got to have fun as well and party on, as most of my friends will tell you.
Definitely.
I think Chris is like that. Chris believes like I do as well. You've got to have fun. You've got to party. We're here to enjoy the experience of life. A balance. Well, we tried to balance, but we tend to go more of the fun side. You're here to experience life, experience it, live in the now, be in the moment, and go with, allow it, allow. When can we go back to your friend who did the regression? Is it past life regression therapy with Gloria Cannon? When you were her guinea pig, so to speak, you know, starting off, how did that change your path to where you are now? Because it would have obviously made a massive impact in maybe the work you do, the tarot or whatever. Where did that lead you from there?
Well, I'd already done an awful lot of work before then, but the interesting thing is with these regressions, what we do is we contact the spiritual realm and we can get information about, we can ask pre-arranged questions during these sessions, and it gives you a great deal of help with regard to, this is a current situation, how can you give me advice on how to deal with it? It starts off with relaxation exercises, guided meditation and the like, and then we move on and go towards the spiritual realm and ask for help or information, and that is enormously reassuring, because the things that come up can be very, very, very helpful, and there's also an opportunity to do some healing as well, and they'll tell you, you get information. It's very interesting, because when I contacted the spiritual realm and asked, we talk about our higher self, which I believe is part of our soul energy that's left in the spiritual realm when we reincarnate. But it came across as a group entity, and they refer to themselves as they. But it's just lovely, because you know that they're there watching you, and through this system you can access their wisdom and help in your everyday life. So whatever, and usually we find that whichever session I'm in, it usually runs a parallel to the life I'm living now. So we'd say, well, what was the purpose of seeing that lifetime? How does that relate to my current life? What is the information I'm supposed to be learning? So it's a very useful tool for guidance and help, really. That's how I see it anyway.
No, that's fascinating. Yeah, really interesting.
And if anybody is, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, go on, Mary.
I was just going to say, if anybody would like to see Helen, because she's an amazing lady, if they want to look up her website, it's Helen Colbeck, Regression Therapist. So if anybody is inspired to do that, she lives in Hailsham, near Eastbourne. So if anybody would like to have a go, I would highly recommend it.
What we can do, Mary, because she was your inspirer, if you pass them details over to Chris after the show, and when we put the post up after the show thanking you, we'll pop that in with your contact details as well. If you're happy with that, we can do that.
So Mary,
Chris,
I know you've travelled abroad, and you've done seminars, is it, and things like that, and workshops and stuff overseas, New Zealand, and there's other places. Where else have you been? Sorry, ma'am. New Zealand, and
I've done readings in the Caribbean, in the Caribbean, just for people locally there, and but yeah, we lived in New Zealand for 3.5 years, and that I found them very, very open to spirituality. I mean, I could teach in colleges. I had a really spooky experience once. We were in a classroom, and I had about 5 or 6 students, lovely people, and we were down a long corridor, and we were waiting for one other person to turn up, and we were just chatting, and suddenly there was a knock at the door, and so I said, "Oh, come in," and nobody did. So I went to the door and had a look round, and I looked up and down the corridor, and there was nobody there. And they could not have run away in the time that I opened the door, because the corridor was so long. So I just said, okay, well, that's the spiritual people wanting to join in. So jolly good. So we started the lesson like that. But we've had some interesting experiences.
I was going to ask you
about that. Sorry, Chris.
I was just going to ask what's it like with. I mean, you touched on it a little bit about the different cultures and how they relate to what you're over there doing, do you know what I mean, and showing them and guiding them with.
Yeah. Yes, it's I don't know, New Zealand, maybe because they're a younger country, but they seem to be, I don't know, more open, not to say there's anything wrong with the UK or anything. I don't mean that at all, but it was easier to as I say, I just rocked up to these colleges and said, would you like me to produce a course? And they went, yeah, okay. Which in the UK you probably wouldn't get that.
You could not do. They'd put you in a straitjacket and cart you off. I'm sorry, they would. It's our show. We can say what we like. Going back to Australia, like you said, Australia, the Caribbean. For me, Australia it's got an ancient history of spirituality. They still talk about the gods from the past. They still talk about reincarnation. It's their history has not been obliterated by the system, so to speak. And as we said, in this country, it has. So hence why shows like this are coming out, and guests like you wonderfully presenting. So we can get this out there and say, this is how it should be. And it was the point, sorry I interrupted you, Chris, earlier on the point, you said about knock on the door, and you went, come in, is what me and Chris have been talking about recently, about when these experiences come, to allow them. Don't judge them. Don't say what's going on. Don't get the mind out of the way. Allow that communication to come through, whether it's from higher dimensional beings or angels or spirit or demigod, whatever. It's the allowing and the blending of energies. And that's where the information comes through, because we are all collective as a multi-dimensional being. However, they're slightly higher than us at the moment, in another dimension, or next door, as I like to say now. So through these experiences, I mean, what could you say? I'm going to put you on the spot. What is the greatest thing you think so far you've become aware of or understood about you, about Mary?
That I'm not alone. We've always got the spiritual help there when we need to access it. And to me, that's the greatest comfort, I think, because we often feel very little on the inside and struggle with our day-to-day lives. But I so often go, hello, can you come and help me here? I need this. And they find my car keys, they find everything that I've lost and things like that. But the greatest thing that I love is when I do mediumship readings and the change that I can see in my clients when I have contacted somebody that's passed over. And it changes their lives. It really does, because we have, there is proof of survival, and it means that you haven't just lost that person forever and ever. It's just that, as you say, they're in the next room, next door, whatever, and you will meet them again. And to me, that is the greatest thing, the most heartwarming thing of my whole career, is that I can actually reassure people. I had one example. I had my neighbour's mother died very suddenly in the summer, and when she came to see me, she was so shell-shocked by it. But anyway, by Christmas, she said, is it possible you could do a reading for my mother? So I said, yes, no problem. And her mum came straight through, singing and dancing and very happy, and that was lovely. And then I started talking, as it's near Christmas time, I was getting pictures of, because I'm clairvoyant, I mentally see pictures. And I kept getting this picture of a white box with gold ribbon on it. And I said to my neighbour, I said, maybe this is a Christmas present, because she couldn't identify it. But nothing happened. I checked with her after Christmas. No, it didn't. No boxes with gold ribbon on, not at all. Anyway, later on in the following year, she went back to the family place here, and the dust sheets in their house covering the furniture were held down by white boxes with gold ribbon painted on them. They were local stores. Wow. So to me, it's lovely that, it's so lovely that afterwards there is proof. There is proof like that. And again, I was doing a mediumship reading for an Italian lady, and she couldn't speak any English, so her daughter translated. And the first thing that came up was she and her husband, with whom I was in contact then, they were arguing, and I said to her daughter, I don't know how to tell your mum this, but the first picture I've got of this couple, she was desperate to contact this husband, deceased husband, And I said, they're arguing. And the daughter burst out laughing. She said, oh, they argued all the time because we ran a restaurant and they always argued about cooking when they were home. But the point of this story is that I described this particular pot, vase, to her. And again, there was no recognition. What does this mean? What's it about? And anyway, when the daughter contacted me much later because her mother returned to Italy, and there was this pot that I described in the cemetery where she went to her husband's grave. Wow. So it's just things like that that happen.
Yeah. And I mean, me and Chris speak about things like that all the time, and you keep saying, I can't be more amazed, until the next one you go, I can't be more amazed. And it's that experience of the amazement is what it's about. I think for the media, I can't believe I got that. I mean, it's that I am more than what I think I am, and I can connect more than what I believed I could. So them experiences, obviously, if you're a medium, every single time it's like, wow. And
I never cease to be amazed. I really do.
No. I do have a question before I forget. What are the major, I'm going to say this incorrect, I know, the Major Arcana tarot cards? Is that correct or incorrect?
Yeah, Major Arcana, yeah. What are they? They are the tarot cards come in the minor and the major arcana. And the minor cards deal with the more mundane aspects of their lives, like money, emotions, energy, and that sort of thing. But the major cards are the more spiritual ones. They hold a more inherent spiritual message. And when I wrote my second book of What Am I Doing Here, it's all to do with wisdom and understanding the spirituality and what we're doing here and why, and they can be very, very helpful. One card can actually give you a great deal of information. I did a tarot reading for my brother-in-law in New Zealand, and he was in the church, but he drew 2 tarot cards. He was quite open to this again, and I explained to him what these 2 cards meant, and he said, Mary, you have taught me more in those 2 cards than the entire time I've been in the church. So there's different ways. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. You know, whatever your path is, your truth is, whether it's a church or it's tarot cards or whatever. But it's just lovely because it's a very shorthand way of getting some really good information very quickly. I mean, there's a magician's card, which is all about channeling information. It's all about communication and that you can do these things. So just one card can give a huge message in a short space of time.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you for explaining. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Now, Chris, I'm taking over again, Chris. Come on, do you have a question? You're just sitting there. I'm just absorbing all of this.
Just more about you, Mary, and what you do. I mean, you've covered a little bit there. I'll go for my dog. Yeah, right, dog. The dog wants to be on the show. More about what you do and the ways of. Gloria, ask a question until he shuts up.
His dog every week now is, earlier on before the show went live, Chris got up, his dog sat on the chair, okay, and me and his dog had a conversation. I think he's moving Chris out of the show because he's getting louder every week. He's gone, Chris. Come on, Oscar's gone. What we do, ladies and gentlemen, we will put a picture of Oscar up so you know who Oscar is, soon to be famous, running this chat show. Now, Chris, okay, go on with your question.
I'm out of a job. I was going to ask you, Mary, what it is you do to help others with your tarot and a bit like, the insight and a bit more about you in your journey and how you now help others in that, what sort of things you do and you wrote books and how you got onto that and that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Selling you, Mary. Sure. Sell yourself to me.
I always used to record extraordinary, amazing things that come up, and I kept writing them all down. And one day I was clearing out all this stuff, and I thought, if I die, this is all going to go to waste. Nobody's going to read it. And so that's what inspired me to write books. I've done tarot readings and workshops and courses and things. But I thought, if somebody when I die, if somebody picks up a book and reads something, it may be of help to them. So that's what my first book started, Alchemy of the Soul, Learning to Dance with Your Own Divinity. And I used the 7 stages of alchemy to, and I related certain experiences to each of these stages. And I just did quite a simple way of explaining how you develop, because alchemy is turning a base substance into something better. And as I say, I believe we're here to learn and grow at soul level. And I just wanted to record initially all of my experiences, and if that could be of any help to anybody else, I just thought that would be wonderful. And then, as we've already talked about the major cards, my second book is a fictional one, and it's all about really this girl who wakes up in a mansion. It's all a bit I can't really think how to describe that to you, but she wakes up in this mansion, doesn't know who she is or where she is, but she finds this book of major tarot cards in the library, and it's the point of that book is learning awareness. As long as when we become aware, that to me is the whole key to living, really. When you become aware of things and become aware of the spirituality and you learn and grow, job done. So when I go home, I think, right, I did something right. And then my third book, I wanted to explore the theme of reincarnation. So and what was so lovely with those, my 2 fictional books, the plot sort of seemed to come through ready-made. So whether I had spiritual help with getting these ideas out, which I'd like to think is right. My third book is a story of karma and reincarnation. What goes around comes around. And the first part of the book is in Versailles, where these people have very licentious lives, and there's adultery and betrayal and murder. And then then they go back to the spiritual realm to understand what's going on, really, and learn. And then they come back, and I've based it in when I used to live in Hove. I based it in Hove, where they meet up again in slightly different relationships, but then they resolve all the karma and all the things that happened in the sorry. And then my fourth, which I'm currently writing, is all about the regressions I've done with Helen, and that's called Footprints in the Sands of Time. That's it. get it out in the end. So I'm still writing that one, but that's one that Hayley's very interested in as well. So, but yes, again, it's just recording this information, and when the books are published, if somebody picks it up years down the line, again, maybe in some way I've helped somebody else, and that's really what I want to do, is just to, people suffer so much, and if they don't understand the spiritual life, they can suffer so much more. And I feel by doing mediumship readings, I can help people get over their grieving a bit more and things like that. So really, it's just let's get all this information out there and people can use it. But if they don't accept it, they don't, that's fine. But it's just, it may just help somebody. I did have a friend in New Zealand. I loaned her a book, and she said, Mary, not the one that I'd written, this was another book. And she said, Mary, you have no idea how much that book helped me when my grandparents died. So it's just the idea of we all need help. We all get frightened. I say we're all little people on the inside, and anything that can help, I think is just wonderful. I always appreciate it, even if somebody says well done.
No, I absolutely concur. It's like we all can add some value to the collective experience, and we can always, and the whole point is to inspire, to others, to give your value too. I'm experiencing this. How do you feel about this? My truth, my perspective. However, that does, and always, most of the time, inspires another, or helps an understanding. You know, what is grief, or what is this? Who are these beings I'm seeing? Who's that talk? And and that can help. I think with consciousness today compared to way back in the day, if we all know that we all would have been burnt as witches. However, we've evolved consciousness to this, and my truth and my personal perspective is the evolution of consciousness is accelerating. Call it the ascension, call it whatever you want, because more and more are becoming, it's like being in an internet, coming online with spirituality and consciousness, like, boom, I'm online, and all of a sudden, wow. So your contribution to humanity is of great value, Mary, and thank you very much. I mean, I've got to ask this question though, because, you know, obviously past life regressions, I mean, years ago, you know, we all have these belief systems. No, they're not true. That's the devil. When you're raised as a Christian, you know, that sort of belief system. Now that's gone. That's gone. It's okay. It's in a way, with all spirituality, it's in Western society, especially UK here, because we are, I'm going to say it, we're behind the times with the likes of America and Australia and, you know, blah, blah, blah. People are coming online to that and starting to show interest. Me personally, I've never gone for past life regression, ever. However, I have spontaneously somehow had a few along the way. And where I'm leading to now is obviously your friend, and use you as the guinea pig. You're so lucky to be the guinea pig. No, I'm not volunteering to be anyone's guinea pig here. You know, no, Chris, don't even think about it. Have you thought of, or would you like to become somebody that does the past life regressions, or are you happy just writing about your experience? Have you thought of that?
I have, and it's quite an intensive course. I personally know I'm happier sitting at home, writing at my laptop and getting the information out, to be honest with you. I enjoy doing readings enormously. I say mediumship really is the thing that gives me the greatest pleasure. But no, I really do enjoy writing, and so no, it's not something that I think I would want to do particularly. I'm very happy with my cards and my books, and that's where I'm at.
You're doing. And just like me, I'm very happy not being anyone's guinea pig for past life regression, especially Chris Shearer. That's wonderful. Okay, Chris, do you have any other questions? Because I know I'm taking all the questions today, as I do.
So you've covered the tarot. I was going to ask you actually, Mary. Are you quite a visual in yourself then, in terms of pictures and the things you see? Because obviously tarot itself, and I was going to ask you another one. Sorry, I get onto it. I'm not like Gloria. I'll get there. When you do your mediumship, did your tarot help you in the sense when you're working with your mediumship? Do you look around for sort of objects and things that help you in terms of synchronicity and things like that prompt you in the picturesque sense to work with them? I just find it fascinating that I know you do the tarot and it's all about the pictures and the imagery and things like that. Is it the same way in the mediumship? Is what I'm trying to get across here, in a sense.
Sorry, so you're asking that what else do I use?
Well, when you do your tarot, you obviously start with your tarot, and that drew you in, and the imagery of the tarot and things like that. It's the similarities from your tarot to your mediumship on how you work when you're doing the spirit connection.
It's a very different. Well, I do usually start with a tarot reading when I'm doing a mediumship reading, and as I say, it's developed over years. And then I just find that people pop in. I'm talking to a client, and they're saying, "Well, can I contact so and so?" But then, and that person, fortunately, that person usually turns up. But yeah, it's very different. And again, I often get messages in different ways. I mean, I can look at the clouds or look at the mountains, and something will start to come through, and I'll get a message that way as well. Yeah, that can happen quite a lot, and it's very, very interesting because again, it's a reassurance that the spiritual realm are all around us, and they can pass messages on if you're aware of them. That's the thing. But say,
yeah, I mean,
just
that's
going
pretty,
back to, go on.
Sorry, it's a delay. We had this delay. Sorry, I'm going to hold on to Chris's question. It was a brilliant question, Chris. And you were talking about it led to, you know, you can go to the mountains, the clouds, and you're saying spirit is always there. However, from my perspective, my truth, I think it also shows us that our own individual consciousness is expanding. It's not just one way, spirit. We are expanding. So when you've gone from the tarot, as Chris was coming through with that brilliant question, and then the difference between tarot and mediumship, and then you followed on, and I can look at the clouds. I know people that can get messages from carpets, clouds. You wouldn't believe it. But your own individual consciousness is expanding out itself. It's an awareness of that. So you can be anywhere, anytime, and you're just connected. You know, in fact, you're never disconnected. But it's a very good analogy. I've also got one more question, Chris, that our wonderful friend Kate has asked me to ask. And it's a question, Chris, you should have asked our guest, not me. You should have asked it. So our lovely Kate Green is asking, what does the College of Psychic Studies do, Mary? Because you're an associate of the College of Psychic Studies. Sorry, Chris didn't ask you. It's nothing to do with me.
No problem. It's just a training centre for development of spiritual gifts and abilities. I've been up there and been on courses with Tony Stockwell. I've been not working with him. I've been a participant in the audience with him in the class. So it's just to and there's talk. There's if you go on the website, there's numerous workshops, talks, information, things like that that are there. I say I've only been up there once or twice, but I just feel it's nice that people feel that I belong to an organisation that you know, it just represents the whole situation, spiritual situation, really. And it's just nice to belong to. You know, I could go up there at any time and join a course or whatever. So it's just another way of sharing information, really.
I'm with you. Thank you for explaining.
Mary? Do you teach tarot, Mary, yourself? Do you help others to develop an understanding of tarot? I'm going to ask you this one. I'm going to ask you this one. What's the difference between tarot and any other oracle card?
The tarot is a very old system. It's been around, they think, nobody can really trace the origins, but they think it's been around since before Egyptian times. I don't know. But it's tarot, and I say tarot is built around, as I say, the mundane aspects of our lives and our spiritual lives. So, but any card could really, any set of cards, any deck of cards, as long as you're open and you've got the intention to try and find some information, any angel cards or whatever could also help you, give you information. So it's not just restricted to the tarot. I mean, when I've been on holiday and a friend said to me, "Oh, Mary, can you advise me on this situation?" I've got out an ordinary deck of playing cards and used those because they run parallel to the minor arcana. So they've got the 4 suits of cards. So anything like that. But as I say, you could look at clouds or look at anything, and if you're on that vibration and you're open to it, you can receive information. So it's definitely not just restricted.
Thank you. I'm just intrigued to see your viewpoint, because obviously you do cover tarot. Do you know what I mean? On what that viewpoint was on that subject. It's just intriguing to know, because a lot of people read different cards, don't they? And stuff.
Yeah, I can relate to the playing cards. I was with a friend. I know she's paying me well to plug her name, Kate Green, Eternal Spirit Online. There you go again. And she was doing this group, and she's just wonderful, because she comes up with all these creative ideas. And she says, "We're going to do the cards tonight. Let's have fun." And she brought out the playing cards. So your first instinct, you've got the Jack and that, and you're going, like this. And then she tried to explain this hierarchical structure. This means this. And in the end, she said, "Oh, just do it." And my God, you would not believe the readings. And you're picking up a card and it's like a jack, and you're looking at your sitter. It's a better reading than sitting in a demonstration. It was a playing card. So it was showing that you can do it. You don't need anything.
Visualization.
However, if that tool works for you and you enjoy playing with that tool, whether it's a tarot or a playing card like you were on holiday, you can do the same. And that, again, is an expansion of how unlimited we are, what we can actually do as conscious human beings. So, I mean, that's really okay.
How long does it take, Mary, to get an understanding of the tarot?
The course I teach it takes 6 weeks, 2 hours. I do usually do 2 hours at a time, because there's only so much information, you know, you can absorb in one sitting. So I start with one of the minor suits of cards, and then the next week we learn about the next suit of cards, and then I blend them all together and do simple readings, and then I get the third setting, the fourth setting, and then the last 2 weeks I split the Major Arcana cards. So I build it up over 6 weeks, and to me that's the simplest way to learn. Just learn about the one suit at a time, and then go away for the week and think about it, and then work up and blend them in every week. So by the end of the 6th week, all 78 cards are in play. But that I found is the easiest way. And I also suggest to anybody I'm teaching that if they just pick out one card a day out of the entire deck, it doesn't just have to be the ones that we've been learning about, and just look at it and see what you think it means, and then see if that can apply in any way to what's happened to you during your day. Because that way, for example, if it was the Page of Cups, now that's a card of messages, and it's emotional messages. So if they heard then suddenly, oh, my girlfriend's got engaged, that card was the happy emotional message they were going to receive. So it's like that. So it just helps build up links. But I try and make it as simple as possible. But every week, and as I say, I'm always there if they want to ask questions. It's just the to.
Have we frozen? Oh, we've got a glitch.
I'm still here. You're still here. But I think Mary's closed.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
We're back now, though.
We went into a parallel universe there. We went to the other room there, Mary. Yeah. Stay still. Stop it. Yeah. Okay, you went off somewhere. You're like, oh, I'm gone. Sorry about that. There was a glitch in the matrix there.
I'm glad you touched on that, Mary, because I remember reading a while back about sleeping with the tarot card as well and putting it under your pillow. Is that a true statement, or something you do yourself or have done yourself? I don't know. We've lost Mary completely.
I've never done that myself.
No. You keep glitching out, Mary.
Sorry, I've never done that myself.
Yeah.
I think we're going to overlap.
Anyway, about picking a card a day, so it's the same principle, really, isn't it? It's just putting it on your pillow and dreaming about it. But no, fascinating, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Chris, I don't know if Mary, you can hear me. You keep glitching out and going and coming back. So you've obviously got all these energies around you. So if we overlap with a question or conversation, you froze it again. I think we're losing our connection here. Can you hear us, Mary? Well, wait till she comes back, Chris. I think she's froze again. Chris Shearer, have you frozen as well, darling?
No, I'm just good at playing statues.
Yeah, we've playing statues. Obviously, there was I don't know if it was a technical error, but I think the energy. She's trying to come back, Mary, bless her. Are you back?
I am. I'm here.
Hey.
Well, you went to the other room in the parallel universe. Can you stop doing that, please? All right? Just behave yourself. We're live in this reality. Stop going off. Okay? We're coming towards the end of the show now, Mary. So where, if people are interested in, and obviously there will be, of anything you've spoken about today or want to follow you, where can they get hold of you? Is it just the one that Chris has got on this thing? What's it called, Chris, that's going across the screen?
It's www.maryactoroandpsychicstudies.co.uk.
That's it. And I've got my details on there if they want to contact me.
Wonderful, thank you.
Mary, as well. Are your books on that on the web page?
My books are on there. My first two books are available on Amazon and Kindle if people want to buy them. But it's all on my website. And there's one other thing.
Go on.
I've also got a YouTube channel called Soul Growth Meditations, which I've put up. And it's like meeting your guide. What do I need to know to access information? But the most popular one is cosmic ordering. And I cosmically ordered my husband, and I also cosmically ordered
I need a new husband. That's it. So, I'm putting my order in.
So if it's just another thought that that could be another tool that might help people. But I say the cosmic ordering is the most popular.
Display that. Yeah, we will display that. If we can make sure we've got all the details. We'll put it up when we do the next post. I wanted to add one more thing before you go. When your new book is published, or hush hush at the moment, with your wonderful literary agent, Hayley O'Keefe, do let us know, and we will put it on our Open Minds Facebook page to let people know if they wish to purchase the book, where to purchase it. Please let us know, and we'll do that as well. And on that note, I would like I would like to thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
It's been a joy, hasn't it, Chris?
It really has. Really interesting.
Thank you. Thank you too. It's been a lovely experience. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing your journey. And I look forward to speaking to you again.
We'll let you go to the other side, Mary. In the naughty, we'll let you go to the other side.
If you could go and wait in the naughty room, please, Mary. If you could wait in the naughty room.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh. Well, Chris. Wow. I really was interested in the past life regression. I don't know if I want to know everything I've done. Do you?
No.
No. Let's not put our dirty washing in public, shall we say? Not at the moment. I found that fascinating. What an experience to be.
I didn't know if Mary had the meditations and that, so I'll be intrigued to look at that as well.
We'll get the link in a minute off Mary, and we'll put it up with our thank you, and also when her book comes out, when it's published, we'll advertise that for her in exchange of energy for coming on the show today. I would like to thank, and Chris would as well, everyone that's participated today, joined us today, and those that will watch it later. Next Saturday, Philip Kinsella, who's a best-selling author, he's amazing. He's a wonderful, 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 gentle soul. He's going to talk about human consciousness and the multi-leveled experiences of alternative realities. Exactly where Mary took us today, and where I went yesterday, where my cash point disappeared. He's also going to talk about certain theoretical models, very scientific, next Saturday, but he makes it so easy for us all to understand. So, theoretical models towards a greater understanding of where we are as a species and where we're heading. And what is our purpose from his perspective? Why are we here? and what are the UFOs telling us? Philip is an experiencer of an abduction, which is it personally relates to me because I'm an experiencer as well of abduction. So it's something very close to my heart. So we look forward to having Philip next week, and he'll talk about the books he's published.
I'll give Oscar a cameo and I'll change into a dog.
Well, Oscar, I think Oscar needs to have, I mean, he's really tried today to take over. He's really, you know, he's sort of kicking you to the curb. You know, if Oscar comes on, I'll just say, Oscar, can I talk? And I go, woof, and that'll be it. I'm off. He really is pushing it. He really is pushing it. So, Chris, it's been a great show once again.
It really
and
brilliant.
Unfortunately, I will see you again tonight because I'm going to watch you give a demonstration of mediumship. Am I not? Now, there are 8 mediums. I wish I'd read what Sarah Stirrup had said. Sarah Stirrup is running a charity program, and 8 mediums are donating their time in the Zoom room and to raise money for this charity. I think it's in Greece. So if you're interested in this tonight, I do apologize. My head's totally shut off with the show. If you're interested in joining this event tonight, it's £5 towards charity. Please contact Chris Shearer, actually is a better one, or Sarah Stirrup online to get a ticket. And we'd like to promote that tonight. And our one and only amazing Chris Shearer, my co-host, will be demonstrating tonight. And am I going to get a message?
No.
I got to tell you guys, I never get a message from Chris. And half the time I get a little one, then he just goes off somewhere. I'm totally abandoned by this. You would have thought, him being this powerhouse medium, I'd get all the... No, I don't get nothing from this man. So I put it out there, Chris. Sorry?
I'm waiting for mine from you.
You don't want to hear it, love, because you're not ready for it.
No, maybe not. No, that's another show.
That's another show. Well, yeah, that's definitely another show. So it's all said, it's all done, apart from the last couple of bits. And I don't know how we started this. It's good night from him.
And good night from her. And good night from us.
We've got to think. Good night from us. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next Saturday live. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.